Hey everyone, this is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about large brush pens. So I'm finally starting on my large brush pen collection, and these are the new Zebra Mildliner brush pen. When I say new, I mean relatively new. A lot of reviews have been done on these already, so I don't really want to call this a review because if these pens came out and you're a brush pen lover, you probably already have them. So I just want to show you, for those of you who still haven't bought them yet and are interested in using them for studying or even calligraphy or anything. It doesn't really matter what you're using them for, but if you're thinking about buying them, maybe this video can give you a little bit of information. So since I've purchased them, the price has gone down drastically. So when I first got these, I looked on the Zebra Canada pen website and they were, I think, $20 or $25 per pack. Maybe they were a little bit more. And so I think there was a pack of 5 because there's 15 in total. So there were 3 packs of 5, or you could buy the whole pack. And they were quite a bit more expensive. So then probably a couple months after that, they were on Amazon Canada and they were $50. And now I found them recently for $40. So they've actually come down in quite a bit in price. So if you are looking for them, they are pretty cheap. Let's get into the colors. So now, instead of actually writing out the colors, because I know the brush pens do have the colored names, let's see if the color name is on they are. Okay, so I'm going to write out the names of the colors as I go. So I am using, as per usual, my Rhodia dot grid notepad because this is like the nicest paper to use for brush pens. And just as a side note, I'm going to write out the name of the color and then I'll just use the fine point tip to show you what the fine point looks like. Okay, so now the colors are done, and I just want to talk about these for a few minutes. I might not do the alphabet with these. I kind of have a lot to say about them. Number one, I love them. I love the brush tip. I find it very, very similar to Tombow, and I know there are a lot of people that don't like, or maybe not necessarily don't like Tombow, but that find it difficult to work with. But these ones, I find that the tip stays very, very firm. It's got a great bounce back, and you can get a very nice difference between the upstrokes and downstrokes. The downstrokes are fairly thick and the upstrokes can get very nice and thin, and I love that. And the colors do coincide with the original Mildliner highlighters. And I think those are like the first 3 packs, like the fluorescent pack, the cool pack, and then the warm pack, if I'm not mistaken. And now, here's me just saying, and I'm hoping and putting it out there that they come out with the new packs as well, because the latest new one that they had, these are just a sampling of colors from there, but those were some of the prettiest colors that I personally love. It was like my favorite one. It was the Brights pack. That was my favorite, and I'm really, really hoping that they come out with the brush pen as well. I can't comment that they will for sure. I have no idea. I'm just really hoping that they do. And So the one thing I can say, I'm just going to point this out. Let me take the gold, for instance. So the pointy tip with the brush pens is a lot skinnier than the pointy tip on the actual original highlighter. So for instance, I'll just write Mildliner underneath the gold. So I almost feel like the original highlighter is almost like a marker tip with the fine point. And then of course you have the highlighter on the other side. So these highlighters were perfect for like study groups and studying, and a lot of Instagram worthy study spreads. Back in my day when I was in university, I did not have access to those. They had not come around yet. So I used the old favorite, the Sharpie highlighter, which were all fluorescent. You didn't really get a choice. So the fact that they have these is just so cool. I love how pastel they are. I love some of the brighter colors. I use them in my bullet journal all the time and they don't bleed through. And I was so excited to do a brush pen video on these. I wanted to jump right in and do it quick, but I'd already had, like I had my mediums that I wanted to do and then the small ones. And now I'm finally on the large brush pen. So um, the price point, I think I paid $50 for them. I waited till they were on Amazon. So I purchased mine long after they were released and all of the brush pen reviews had already been put up. So I wasn't really in a hurry to do a review per se. I just wanted to show my viewers because I know a lot of you don't own these pens, and I, for one, am a huge, huge fan. I love them. The only thing I'd say is if you were using them for bright calligraphy pieces, they're probably not the best because they are pastel. But if you love that, then maybe it's something you want to get. And but I can tell you that the tip is amazing. And I think it feels like it would last a long time. And I think that the price point is at the point now where it's not too pricey if you do need to replace them eventually. So except for like the kind of highlightery colors, if you will, those sometimes don't show up well on camera. And again, if you are doing a calligraphy piece, you usually pick nice, bold, bright colors or a black. And unfortunately, because these are mild liner, as the name suggests, they don't have a really dense black. So I guess it depends all on what you're using them for. And if you are a stationery collector addict like myself, then you may also have these brush pens. But if you have any questions about these at all, please feel free to leave comments down below. I'm not going to do a pen test or anything like that, but they are water based, so they will, like if you get water on it by accident, it will kind of make it a mess, but it's not like a watercolor paint, so to speak. So I wouldn't really use it for watercoloring with. Um, it isn't really advertised as that. I think it's like the advertising factor, the marketing value behind these is that they are mild liners and that they are pastel, so you can still use the brush tip as a highlighter if you wanted to. So I don't know. I remember, this is just kind of like a side note, but I remember when I was a kid, brush pen markers came out and nobody ever used them for calligraphy. I mean, until the internet got really huge. I remember when I was 18 was when I got my first computer, and I think that was back in the year, and I know that other people had computers long before I did, but I think it was the year 2000 is my very first computer, and it was one of the dial-up computers. So, and I think I spent most of my time on like downloading music, and I don't think I ever searched for this kind of stuff, even though I like to draw and stuff. I was never really into brush pens or calligraphy. And if I was into calligraphy, I actually had like an ancient old calligraphy set that you had to dip your little nib into like a bottle of ink. So that was the kind of calligraphy I grew up on. As far as brush pens went, they were used for coloring, and that was kind of what the marketable value was back then. They were just like kind of a cool thing to color with, and the kind of brush pens you could get weren't very good ones. They were really cheap. They didn't have, like, you didn't really care about what the nib was like. It was just like a marker, pretty much like a Crayola marker, but with a brush pen tip. So nowadays, the fact that they have all of these beautiful brush pens, you really have a good choice in what kind of brush pen you want to use for your project or your bullet journal or whatever the case may be. So enough said on my little tangent, my little rant. Again, if you guys have questions, leave them down below. Comments again down below. And if you are new here, please subscribe. It would help me out so much. Click the like button if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to ring the bell notification button, and that will let you know every time I post a new video. We will talk to you very soon. Bye.